Hello, Knockouts. TonyaTko here. And as you know, I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I hope you learn how to love yourself and each other. Today, we're going to be looking at the R. Kelly video that he did with Gayle King. I was supposed to do this yesterday, and please forgive me for being a day late. After the Jasmine Island lawyer interviews, we did a quick live, and I told you all I was going to eat and then I was going to record the video. Well, I ate and I had a bad reaction to the vegetables. Apparently we're gonna have to start looking at the labels of vegetables now. I bought some frozen vegetables and they put soy inside of it. And I stopped eating soy about 5 months ago, and it just gave me a tremendous migraine. And it took me about 24 hours to just get all of that out of my system, and I still don't even feel 100%. But I'm doing this video because everyone's talking about it. I'm really curious about what's inside of it. I want to see it. I want to continue to create content. You all voted for this dress yesterday, the flower dress. So give me a thumbs up. My first time in 11 years wearing patterns on camera. Some of you said it looked granny-ish when it was without my body in it, but I know it don't look granny-ish with. Ow! You know something? My head is still hurting. I need to calm down. All right. All right. You know what? We're going to jump into this video right now. I feel a little bit better already. Laughter is medicine for the soul. All right, so let's jump into it. Give me a thumbs up for trying something new with a flower pattern dress. Give me a thumbs up because I work so hard to create these videos, and it's not easy cranking out videos every single day. It's not editing, editing, double editing, getting the graphics on there, uploading, commenting, reacting, all of this. It's not easy. So give me a thumbs up for that. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let me get my volume up and then we're going to jump right into it. All right.
Welcome to CBS This Morning. We're going to begin with your big explosive interview with R. Kelly. Wow.
He had a lot to get off his chest, Nora.
Right.
He actually said he welcomed the opportunity to speak. And boy, did we let him speak.
And everybody has switched their channels and turned on to us to see it this morning.
We let him speak.
So let's get right to it, because R. Kelly is breaking his silence about the sexual abuse charges that landed him in jail last month. The embattled R&B singer spoke with Gayle for nearly 80 minutes yesterday. It is an interview that you will see only on CBS This Morning, and he says all the women now accusing him of physical and sexual abuse, he says all of them are lying.
That's what he says. Chicago prosecutors have charged Kelly with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Authorities say 3 of the 4 alleged victims were underage when the suspected crimes happened. Now, Kelly has pleaded not guilty. Sources tell CBS News federal and state authorities in at least 2 states, New York and Illinois, are now investigating a variety of allegations. The singer, as you know, has faced intense scrutiny for more than a decade now. It was reignited in January after the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly featured interviews with 7 accusers and former members of his inner circle. They all say that Kelly preys on vulnerable women and young girls. I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and, and seeing things on the blogs, and, I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
Oh my God. All of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Have you done anything that you regret? Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologize in those relationships. At the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
The 6-part series interviewed 50 people, family members, your former tour manager, numerous women who all claim that you abused them. Are you saying everybody in that documentary was not telling the truth about you? Everybody?
if you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster.
I'm going to name the names. Andrea Kelly, your ex-wife, Kitty Jones, Lisa Van Allen, Lisette Martinez, Geronda Pace, Faith Rogers, Asante McGee. You're saying everything they said in that documentary about you is not true.
They are lying on me.
Why would these women say the same thing about you, that you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress? Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other. That defies logic to me.
Right. Until you hear the explanation. You can start a rumor on a guy like me or a celebrity just like that. All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say, so-and-so did this to me. R. Kelly did this to me. And if you get any traction from that, if you're able to write a book from that, if you're able to get a reality show, then any girl that I had a relationship in the past that it just didn't work out, she can come and say the same exact thing.
Are you blaming this on social media?
I'm talking about the power of social media.
In 2008, R. Kelly was found not guilty on 14 counts of child pornography after prosecutors in Chicago failed to convince a jury that he was a man seen in a sex tape with a girl as young as 13.
What do you want to say to your fans?
Last month, Kelly was indicted again, this time charged with aggravated criminal sexual abuse of 4 women, including 3 who the charges say were minors at the time. Have you ever had sex
No.
with anyone under the age of 17?
No.
Never.
No.
I have to tell you, it's so hard to believe that based on all that we've
There's-
read
I'm gonna tell
and
you
what the
something,
women
Gayle,
have
there's
said
one
about
sit-
you.
I'm gonna
and what
tell
the
you
women have
something.
said about you.
What women said about me, so nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel that people have maligned your
I
character.
have been assassinated. I have been buried alive. But I'm alive.
So I think the point you're making is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their
What are you
will.
reaching
I don't
for?
need to. Why would I?
Well, I'm
How stupid would it
never
be
held
for R.
anybody-
Kelly, with all I've been through in my way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. Why, how
50?
stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you
That's
were holding.
stupid, guys.
I didn't-
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to, love me if you want, but just use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle.
Robert,
Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. Y'all, I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert,
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to.
Security.
You don't want to believe it.
at this point, we briefly paused the interview to give Kelly a moment. His publicist helped calm him down.
I hope this camera keep going.
No, we're going to
This
let
is
the
not
camera keep
true.
rolling.
This is not, doesn't even make sense. Why would I hold all these women? Their mothers and fathers told me, we're going to destroy your career.
But Kelly's emotions remained raw.
It's real girls out there missing. It's real young girls out there being abducted, being raped, okay? They really are on chains. They really do have chains on their wrists, and they can't get out.
Robert,
and they're ending up buried in debt.
Robert, we have to have a conversation, really. I don't want you just ranting at the camera.
I came here for them to hear me talk.
But
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart, because my heart is so big. People betray me, and I keep forgiving them.
You sound like you're playing the victim here. You sound like R. Kelly. You do. When I listen to you, it does sound like you're playing the victim
I'm just telling the truth. And the reason I'm emotional,
Robert,
and I apologize for that, is because this is the first time I was able to say something. I've said nothing.
Gayle, you remained tough and calm throughout that?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't do any good if we both got hysterical, or if we both got very emotional. And you could see, he felt that in his mind everybody's lying. I said, but there's so many people who are telling the same story. And he kept going back. I said, but the women don't know each other. And he said, how do you know they don't know each other? On social media, you're connected. He thinks everybody's trying to do a book deal or they're trying to do a movie, and that really people are conspiring against him.
I have to say, I've never seen anything like that. What was he like before the interview? Because you didn't really know him that well.
No, I don't. He got very emotional several times. I met him maybe beyond 5 years ago at a party where you just say, hi, how are you? You know, it's not the time to say, remember we met 5 years ago? I hate it when people do that. So I did ask, can we have a conversation before the interview got started? I wanted to say, we're going to give you a platform to say whatever you want to say. It's no secret that he lives at Trump Tower in Chicago. So we went to his apartment there, and we had a conversation. And you walk into his apartment, there's a big welcome home. There's a Christmas tree that he keeps up all year long since his mother died back in 1993. He's very close to his mother, misses her very much because it was her favorite holiday. So he keeps a Christmas tree up all year long. It was like 90 degrees in there because he was resting his voice. He said he was going to be singing later.
But what he is accused of is dastardly.
Exactly.
I think what you did, Gayle, was allow him to tell his story and to see, though, his behavior, his temperament, is, I think, what is probably what is most revealing of this interview as well. The pounding of the fist, the getting up. I was worried about you. I was actually worried about you when I saw the pictures.
Well, it's funny. Favorite son, favorite daughter, and Oprah all called me and said, were you afraid? Did you think he was going to hit you? I actually never thought that. I think that I thought I might get accidentally clobbered, but I didn't think that he would deliberately try to hurt me. I never felt in danger talking to him. I just felt that he had a lot of emotion. He wanted to release it. And, you know, when it was all over, we had a conversation, we said goodbye, and I think at the end of the day, he was glad that he was able to say what he wanted to say.
Okay.
Even if, but it's hard to believe when you say, Robert, there are so many allegations and so many accusations, and you've never had sex with anybody under the age of 17.
And it took this jury less than a day to deliberate.
Yes, exactly right.
There's more coming, right?
And he says more will come out on his side of the story, too.
Good googly moogly. What the hell did I just watch? Lord of mercy. What was that? You know, I'm taking it. I was afraid for Gayle. She said she thought she might have got accidentally clobbered. No, honey, that wouldn't have been an accident. People have awareness of their limbs and their faculties. And while he was up flailing around, if you would have gotten clobbered, it wouldn't have been no doggone accident. Wow, you know what? I tip my hat to her for her level of professionalism during that interview. Because she was like, no, Robert. No, I didn't say Robert. It was just, that was a lot. And I feel my headache coming back just thinking about this foolishness. Okay, so New York and Illinois are looking into charges against him. He started screaming about not having people trapped in the basement, saying they describe Lucifer. He's not Lucifer. People could just push a button and then they're published. They want to write a book. And then, oh gosh. And then he's like, so he performed this logical fallacy. Look at what it is that he did. And for those of you who may experience something like this in your own private life, I just want you to be aware of this logical fallacy. So, one, note he never answered the question. She asked him some questions about what he did. He never answered the question. Instead, he got up and he performed this logical fallacy, which is to throw something incredulous in there, couple it with, so like, she never said anything about 50 girls. So he jumps up and he's like, he was like, what sense would it make for me to have 50 girls chained up? He cut her off, and then he instead of answering the question, he posed the question back to the asker, like, what sense does that make? How could this be? Would you believe that? Etc. Meanwhile, never answering the question. And instead of allowing her to be able to have a conversation with him and follow up, he goes off on this tirade, this rant. And the more she continued to try to ask, the more he got up in arms, the louder he got, the more animated he became, over talking her, overpowering the conversation. And then you see that it went in increments. So there are people who will try to throw you off your game. There are people who will, and some of you have parents who have been like this. You try to talk to your parent and say, there was something that I didn't like. And your parent is like, oh, I'm the bad guy. I'm Lucifer now. Just say you hate me. Go ahead, put me in a nursing home. You know, I was the worst mother ever, weren't I? Oh, and just going off. And then meanwhile, your concern is never addressed. They take over the entire dialogue. They abscond any ability of being able to dialogue. And then she's like, listen, I don't want you to, yeah, we got to have a dialogue. I don't want this to just be you ranting at the camera. And then that was another thing. Instead of engaging her in dialogue, he's putting on this performance for the cameras and not really clearing his name so much as the incredulity of it. Using something like quote unquote common sense, where he's like, use your common sense. What sense does that make? Meanwhile, never really truly addressing. I mean, it is on the record that he married Aaliyah when she was 15. That is on the record. That's not made up. And then for him to say that he's never had sex with someone underage, not even so much with the people who have come out and accused him, but not even to leave the shadow there. If I did not know that they were underage. Because if you're a superstar and you're having intercourse with a lot of different people and you're not checking ID beforehand, how do you know whether or not you have or haven't had intercourse with a person who was underage? You know what I mean? Because there are some people, it's only through their temperament and their demeanor that you can really truly tell how old they are, but just by physically looking at them, sometimes you really just can't tell. I don't know. This interview was very bizarre, and I think that he went there with a purpose, with an agenda, and I think his agenda was to play to his base. There's some people who feel that the louder you talk, the more believable you are. It's like I'll leave no room for anyone to doubt me because I'll take up all the air in the room. I'll take up all of the space in the room. And so I thought that this was just really, I thought it was really bizarre. He definitely did look out of control. And then she said it would have made sense for both of us to be hysterical. And I laughed because the word hysterical was a word that was created specifically to talk about women. That's why it has the HYST in there. The meaning woman, like the uterus, like in the hysterectomy. So there's histrionic, there's hysterical, and there were all of these terms that came up in the early days of psychiatry as really a way to further victimize and abuse women, and keep them lobotomized, keep them chained up, keep them drugged up, etc. Women have faced so much abuse over the years for just being female. And I think it's funny that a word like hysterical has been, if you think about the word hysterical, have you ever seen that word thrown towards a man? This is one of the first instances that I've ever seen that. And I think it's a shame that that type of behavior is attributed to a word whose etymological foundation is woman in it. I don't know. But on that note, I'm going to let you all get out of here and come analyze the video with me in the comments. I'm going to jump down to the comments and talk with you all about what it is that we just saw and witnessed. My mind is blown right now. And somebody else sent me some other video of some of the girls. You know what? There are actually two more videos I want to review. So let me go and do that right now. So look, TonyaTko and I'm out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? That's right, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is being aware, educating yourself and being aware about manipulative tactics that people use to quote unquote win arguments or overpower you in an argument. Just keep your antennas up for abusive tendencies. In the piece they talked about how he preyed on women who were naive, young, vulnerable, from underprivileged backgrounds who no one would believe, etc. And I think it's important that we kind of just step outside of the situation to just kind of take a look from afar, because there are many of us who are vulnerable, who don't know better, who have to grow and learn. I mean, if you think about the things that you learned coming out of your teenage years and your early 20s, that you realize, that won't happen to me again. I won't be a party to something like that again. And one of the themes that we've been seeing over and over and over again on this show is predatory behavior, predators actually plucking off the weakest. If you look at animals in the wild, right? They'll go for the young, even in captivity. Like, I'm sure we've all seen the videos of the lion who'll see the child there behind the glass and will go up like wanting to go bite the child in the head because they see that it's smaller than the people around it. If you look at animals in the wild, you'll see that they'll pick off the one who's the slowest, who's the weakest. Sometimes they're infirm. I remember I saw this video of this giraffe who a lion went and attacked. It was like a mother giraffe and a baby giraffe, and a lion went and attacked the baby giraffe. And when the mother came and like kicked the lion off, they got these long legs with the hoofs, and it kicked the lion off. But the little baby giraffe had broken its leg. And so when the mother was like trying to pick it up and get it to walk, it was like its poor little leg could not support it, and it was like just crumbling downward. And if you could have seen the grief in that mother, I don't know if you've seen this, it went viral on YouTube. I don't know if you could have seen the grief in that mother giraffe, because she knew without the ability to be able to run fast as other people, not other people, as other giraffes, without the ability to be able to even stand up, the child could not survive in the wild. And if you just, the giraffe just hollered there until the giraffe realized that she had to leave it, and it was sad to see, but those lions didn't care. It was just a meal. And it's like predators don't care that you're weaker or that you're incapacitated by a date rape drug, or by ignorance, or by virtue of youth or inexperience. They don't care. That's part of what it is that they're looking for. They're looking for the weak link. They're looking for the one who doesn't know well enough. And I try to talk with my younger sisters about this, because just like sometimes we talk about interracial dating, and if you run into a man who's like or man or woman who's bashing the people of her race, the males of her race, or bashing the women of his race, you know, you got to kind of take a step back and be like, what are the arbitals here? What am I reading between the lines on this? And so when you're younger and you know, and they're these older men who are trying to get with you, if they start attacking older women, oh, they're this, they're that, grouping them all in. Oh, I don't like them because of this. Older women, they got too much baggage, too much mileage, they're all damaged up, and all this other stuff, right? You got to kind of have to take a step back and be like, what are the arbitals here? And those of you who watch my show, you know, arbitals are RBTL, reading between the lines. What is there to read between the line here? And for far too many older people, but I will say older men, for far too many older men, and look, I'm not, and I hate that I even have to say the disclaimer, not all. I feel that that's belittling to the argument. And that also right there is a logical fallacy to try to invalidate a person's point by saying not all when no one indicated that all. Especially what I'm saying a lot. And what happens with a lot of older males is they will specifically seek out people who don't have the experience, who haven't gone through something like them before. And the craziest part is, you know, you have so many people who, you know, you talk to a person and they get to learn what it is that you know, don't know, what it is that you've gone through. And they present themselves as if they're the solution to that. And they actually do to you exactly what they said that they wouldn't, what they claimed they were going to be protecting you from. And that's part of the feature, to catch you when you're ignorant and you don't know better. And many of these dudes who don't like women who are in their own age range, because statistics show that the most furtive relationships that last the longest between men and women are the ones that have an age difference of about 2 years, with the man being 2 years older. However, men on average like women who are 7 years younger than them. And so there's a reason for that. There's also an inverse relationship that exists between a man who is on the prowl for non-committal sex. There's an inverse relationship that exists with his level of attraction or being drawn towards a person and her level of intelligence. So when her level of experience and intelligence increases, his conquestual sexual attraction to her diminishes, because he knows that there's a level of intelligence and experience there. Now, when he's looking to mate long term, then something like intelligence is something that he looks for in a mate. But when he's just out for the conquest, lack of intelligence is actually an attractive characteristic. You can refute that if you choose to, but statistics and data show otherwise. So look, we talked a lot longer than I thought we would. So on that note, I'm going to let you get out of here. I want to hear your thoughts below inside of the comments about this. This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm going to go pull up the other two videos. So TonyaTko, and I'm out. Peace.